These are my friends, Rolando and Ruby. Rolando is pastor of the Perugia Church here in Tijuana. And I just want to interview you and ask you a few questions. And we love your heart. So we're here on a mission trip. We were here a year ago, and it was just so amazing what you guys have done with so little in the neighborhood. Just why? Tell us why.
Yeah, I know. Thank you again for letting us be here on your YouTube channel, and again, thank you for coming last year and met you for the first time, and that was amazing. And now starting to build up this relationship. Yeah, the question it's a really hard question too all the time, because something we have to ask again all the time why we do it, and the reason why we do it, I think, is at the end God give His life for us and as a savior, and then He just tells us to do the same to others, and I think in a way we have to remind all the time that what we do is not for us, is because of Him and for the people. So we have to have that in mind all the time, and I have to remember and remind all the time to myself all that again.
Yeah,
every time. Yeah,
exactly. Um, what what's a couple of things you've seen that God surprised you with?
I think we have seen a lot of things that God has been surprising us after the pandemic. In the pandemic, we thought we were going to shut down the whole ministry and completely, and God surprised us amazingly. I think that was one of the most recent things that we saw, how He provide from nowhere, from places that we didn't know, we never thought about. God bring people that we never met before, people that said, "Oh, I know a friend that told me about you guys, and I never met you guys, but they told me, and I want to come, and I want to visit, and want to do this," and it's like God answering prayers of things that we have that we didn't tell, not even to those friends, and they didn't even know that. So, so God has been surprising us, like little details, but also that type of things that nobody knows it, and then God brings it, and then we say, "Oh, nobody knew this. This is just God saying, yeah, that's me. Like that's totally me."
Yeah. I sought the Lord and He answered. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I know of a story about the time. At first, didn't you start? You were working a full-time job or part-time
Yes.
job, and being a pastor too.
Yes.
And that in that same transition, you lost your job because of the pandemic, because
Yes.
there wasn't anything available. How was that transition from working to full-time working for God?
Oh yeah. It was a big debate on my head. I think Ruby can explain it better than me, because I think she's the one that suffered more than me. I mean, I suffered in the way of dealing like the manhood.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I was more like, no, I mean, I knew God was calling us to be full-time ministry, but my side was like, who's going to provide? Who's going to provide for family? Who's going to do it? I mean, and there's a good question that you have to ask all the time. And I was feeling like I wasn't being good stewardship or shepherd or steward on my house for my family, making that decision. And I put them on all the time, like on the side. Like I know, but later, one day, whenever I have money, whenever I have savings. So, so that, but then the pandemic, after the pandemic hit and everything, and before that, everything got like moved everything around, and I didn't have other option. It came up to the point that I didn't have option. The only option it was just come to church every day, serve the people, develop whatever God is trying to do for this neighborhood. I didn't have other option. I was just like there, like pushed like there, and I started getting mad sometimes. Being honestly with God, I was like why? I mean, and then my rebellion side, it was my I need to knock doors here, I need to do this, and I was doing it. Nobody, there was like no job, nothing at all. I even go to give blood. Remember when I went across the border and give my plasma?
Yeah.
That's right, plasma. No,
No.
plasma. That's right. I'm Mexican, so sorry. Okay, I translate first in my head. Yeah, I went to cross the border and give plasma to get money, and nope. They tried this arm, they tried this other one, again this one, and I called Ruby and said, Ruby, I've been here all day, and they just told me I'm not available. I'm not able to do it.
Yeah.
So I came back like So it was hard. It was a hard decision, but in a way, I think God was dealing with my heart too, and to surrender my life and faith that area. Probably I did surrender other areas of my life, but not that part. I think that was the hardest part for me to depend and lay down and believe that when He says, I'm your God, I'm your Savior, I'm your provider." Oh, that part for me was like that was the hardest part. Now, I mean, now I'm learning that part. I'm still learning. I'm right there, like learning each day. Like He's the provider. He's the one in charge of it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I love the trust you have in the Lord. How about you, Ruby?
Oh, it's hard. At the same time, it's like we give from grace what we receive from grace, but at the same time, we have family sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's complicated to say no to our daughters. Like I remember one day when Melody are starving in the night, and we just say, Melody, we need to go to sleep. And
Yeah.
but why I never mentioned to Melody like, um, we are going to sleep because we don't have nothing in our home.
Yeah.
But then we see at the next day someone knock the door and say, "Hey guys, I just chopping
Doing the
my
shopping.
stuff. I'm doing my shopping, and God put me in my heart to bring this to
Yeah.
you."
Yeah.
And she
Oh,
bring a bunch of food, what Melody loves, and then we can see and notice like God is always
Yeah.
taking care of us.
mhm.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter we know the answer at the moment, but God is always provide. God is always with us. So yeah, we're doing this because we thought like that, like God is like that. So we
Yeah.
don't feel fear, not
Yeah.
anymore. Sometimes, but not too much,
Yeah.
because now we know our dad. So
Yeah, and it's really scary. I mean, it's scary to go like full-time ministry when you don't have
yeah,
that, or support behind the scenes on it. It's really easy to say yes when you have support already, but when you don't, and saying yes, it's really hard. It's really hard. But I think it's God just like guiding in a way to believe that when he said that he is the one in charge, and when you say, okay, God, this is your ministry, my life now belongs to you, and when you say it, it's really easy to say it, but walk that path, I mean, it's really hard. But then I think once you start walking that path, you start seeing God's grace on everything, like totally on everything. It's like it's a whole different channel of living ministry, because everything that comes to your hand, there's no way you can say it's because it's my effort. There's no way to say it's because I'm good. It's because I'm doing it right. I'm doing something. No, it's just because it's totally Him who is doing it. Even opening the ministry and serving others now. Like it's like how we started the food pantry that we have in church.
I was going to ask you that.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
good. No, good. That's perfect. Perfectly.
How we started. I mean, we started because we didn't have food for us, for our family. During the pandemic, we didn't have it all, so we were dealing with that. So we went knocked doors, and I told Rib, I'm gonna cross the border to the States. We're in the border, and I'm gonna call there and see on a food bank or a church somewhere. I mean, everyone gives food there, not in Tijuana, but everyone gives food. So we should go there, knock doors, and do something. And then when we went there, for us, then God opened a big door, a huge door, amazing way that I went far away. Remember, Ruby, where it say, I'm gonna go to another church or people that nobody like recognize me or knows me. And
yeah,
the place that I went up there north in San Diego, then it was a guy serving as a volunteer there. The pastor here, and I was making line. I was in the line. I was like, and then I came all the way here, and this guy knows this guy.
No.
Because I still was debating that part. Like I don't want people to see me and say like, okay, and see a pastor asking because it's a needs.
Yeah.
And how can you say from my part of, well, like, how can I say to others, I'm a pastor, God is a provider, and I'm asking, because I have needs.
Yeah.
For me, it was a debating thing on my head, on my heart. So, but at that point, I would just say, Yeah, and then okay, your church, there's people in your church in need. You came to pick up food for them. And I was about to lie. I was about to say, yeah, I love my people from the church. I came to help them out. But then something in my inside of my thing, it was God and my spirit trying to say, no, just be honest, tell the truth. So I have to tell the truth. Nope, I came because my family has the need. We have the need. It's for my family. So God opened the door. Then they called the pastor, and then they invite me to go to the back, and then they packed our truck completely of food, completely of food. We came also. We crossed the border. The remember the custom guy at the border say you have a lot of food and everything. What are you gonna do with that? I said I'm gonna give it to the church where I pastor and some for me and myself too. And that was truly what we were gonna do. And then the guy said, "Okay, yeah, go ahead, go." They didn't charge us at all, and then we gave it to the families around in the community from our church, people that they were in need, and that's how God opened this ministry that we do, the food pantry, with the families in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now God has been providing all the time, and also people like you guys that are coming all the way from Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, come and bless the food pantry and buy food so others can have meals in the communities in need. So that was just God. That was just God.
Yeah, it was amazing to see. We served 80 some people today.
Yeah.
With flour and oil and everything they need to make several meals. I don't know how many,
Yeah.
but a lot. Sometimes a lot. Maybe
Yeah,
with the
yeah. At least a
tortillas
week and a half. Yeah,
yeah. So, and there's a lot of families here, and I love how you do it. It's not just handing out food. You want to teach them. So you have them come and attend a class, and it could be on like what kind of things do you teach?
it could be boxing, it could be English, math for the kids, it could be other activities. We have graphic design for adults
really?
too, and
Music.
music. Yeah,
That's very cool. So you're not only just handing a meal out, you're giving them skills or helping them out with the kids, or you guys just pour out your love everywhere. The boxing thing for the kids is amazing. I mean, it's great because you get to exercise them, they get physical fitness, and you get to disciple them at the same time because you can teach them how to live and how to act and to be respectful, and it's awesome. How do you get those ideas to work in the community and fill these needs? Like what?
I think I mean, I don't want to say, but I mean, I don't want to say it the way everyone says, "Oh, God gives the ideas." I mean, 'cause I know God is the one who gives the ideas, but I think it's more like organic, right, Ruby? Because I mean, working with families here, then we start noticing like the skills that they have. Like for example, boxing area. It was our neighbors.
Oh,
They were our neighbors. They both, and they were not congregating anymore in any church. They were hurt people from a church,
Yeah.
and they were just there. We were selling outside as a garage sale in our house outside,
Yeah.
and they start coming to purchase things from us, and we start like talking, and then one thing went to another, and they were saying, "Oh, pastors are really bad," and stuff like that, because they were complaining because they were really hurt.
Yeah.
They were really hurt people. And then we don't want to say we're pastors. We're I know. We're like pastors are really bad. We're like, we don't want to say that. We were going to say we're pastors. But then one guy, remember the other neighbor from there that knows from here, Checho, passed by and said, "Hey, Rolando, pastor, how are you?" And Ruby, pastora. And then they were there, and then they start like they say they call you pastors, right? Yeah, they call us pastors.
Busted.
Pastors. Yeah, and then that's how God opened the door. And then we knew that she was going boxing, so we invited her to a Halloween event that we did here for the kids, an outreach event, or harvest, if anything that you guys call them. And that's how we invite them. They say, we're not gonna invite you to a service. We're just inviting you to do a presentation of boxing. I think it would be great for the kids on a Halloween day, and we thought it was gonna be a connection for them to work with kids in the community, and that was it. We didn't think about nothing else, but that's how God opened that, and then they start coming to church. God healed their hearts, and then when we start doing classes, workshops here, we we told them, and they said, "Yeah, we are totally in. We want to teach kids and teenagers boxing." So that's how we start boxing. The others is the same way. I like different. Yeah, I can. We can talk all the stories like behind the scenes, and it's been like really organic, like really organic. Then I think it's just God like bringing people and putting together, and then orchestrating like
Yes.
everything, and we're just like there, like okay, what do you want to do next? What's next? What should we do? We're not, or we want to be in the middle, right?
Yes. That's awesome. Behind every good man is a better woman, and you guys are amazing. I've been told by my better half to wrap it up because we're in the room that they need to finish the gifts for the for the kids. So
Okay.
thank
Okay.
you so much for letting me interview. I look forward to another interview sometime soon. Maybe we can do it over Zoom or something
Sure,
like that.
definitely we'll
So
love to.
it's been a blessing for us to see how all this works, and your hearts. You guys just are so generous with everything you do. You give and you give and you give and you give, and it's a blessing to see that you just trust in God completely. That everything you own is His. And there's a lot more stories we could tell that are just amazing. So, thank you so much for letting me interview you.
Oh, thank you.
We love you. It's been awesome to serve again beside you here,
Thank you.
and I've learned a lot from both of you. We've learned a lot from both of you.
We learned a lot.
So
Really.
thank you so much, and
We love you too.
thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll get you on again in a part 2.